In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you the top 3 life-changing epiphanies that I had in the year 2019, and I'm going to show you how these may help you progress quicker with your manifestations, with your transformation in life in general, in a very powerful way. Welcome back to another video. My name's Aaron and I help people expand their consciousness. Now in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you the top 3 spiritual epiphanies that I had in 2019 and how these have progressed my transformation in life in general. And I would honestly say that the year 2019 is the most transformative year of my life in many different ways. Since 2019, there's been more insights I've had about who I am personally. Whereas before that, I would say I was mainly focused on that of the business aspect of my life. The last 2 or 3 years, as YouTube has been growing, as I've been growing my business, my main focus in life primarily for a long time was just business and growth. It was getting the message out to as many people as possible. And you may know and seen that I've done daily videos on YouTube for about 3 years now. And every single day I get up in the morning, and right now it's early in the morning. I'm in Costa Rica right now. Let me show you around actually. I'll show you. So this right here is the Airbnb. It's got really nice view. Let me show you right over here. This is in Tamarindo, Costa Rica. I've been traveling the world for a couple months. This is the Airbnb right here. It's pretty cool. It's got cool, it's like a little sitting book area where we read. And then this is my room right over here. It's a little, I don't know why I felt inspired just to share this with you, but why not, right? Let me know, like this video if you'd like to see things like this. That's the other view, there's a balcony. And over here, it's like a little bathroom, tub right here. This thing opens up, which is kind of cool too, so that you can have a view, which is cool. But in general, been in Costa Rica now for a while. Probably, how long has it been? It's been about 2 or 3 weeks now. I got another week here. Then after this, go to Miami for a couple days. I go to a Tony Robbins Date with Destiny event with my buddy Victor Otto. And then after that, go back to Vegas. Now, the reason I was just sharing that is this year has been a very busy year in many ways. However, like I said, it's been one of the most transformative years that I've ever had. So, and this video will go out close to that of New Year's to show you just kind of my top insights from 2019. I'm also going to be doing this so that I can kind of go back and see, oh yeah, that's when I was learning that. That's when I had that lesson. Now, let me share with you the first lesson that I had that was very life-changing for me. And to give you the context as well, I'm getting ready right now to go from traveling these last couple months. When I go back to Vegas, I'm going to be building a team and I'm going to be doing live events. So I'm getting ready to go into a phase of my life where I believe that the next phase of my life is actually what my life purpose really is. I mean, making videos is part of my life purpose, but I've always known that speaking and doing live events was going to be really have more passion, more impact. So I'm in this transition point between the two right now. Now, because I've been online and I've been making videos for 2 or 3 years, I've learned a lot about different aspects of my business. And the first lesson that I have that I want to share with you is that money does not, and numbers and stats in general do not equal happiness. So most of my focus this last couple years has been on success and growth. And it's almost like I've been aware too that no matter how far down the rabbit hole you go, no matter how much success you get to the ego, it always wants more. It always wants more. Let me move this down a little bit. It always wants more. And the thing that I've been aware of is that it doesn't actually equal happiness. I have become more abundant this last 2 years than I could have ever imagined it would happen this fast. And from that though, I've realized that no matter how much comes in, because there's also a relatability factor, there's a once you start becoming more and more successful, you may surround yourself with a lot of other successful people and then you compare yourself to them. And when you compare yourself to other people, then you also get into this trap where you don't feel as worthy, you don't feel like maybe you're not doing enough, or maybe you're not smart enough to figure it out. And this last year, you know, I remember when I first was on YouTube, and I remember thinking to myself, oh, when I get to and grow to 100,000 subscribers, it's gonna be really cool. I'm gonna feel so good about myself. I'm gonna know that the impact, the vision, or the videos are getting out to so many people. It's gonna feel so good. And I remember I went to bed one day. I was at 98,000 subscribers. This is right after I went full time. I think I went full time at right around 80,000 subscribers. And I went to bed. And the next day I woke up at over 100,000 because I had a video that was going viral overnight. And I woke up at like 101,000 subscribers or something like that. And I was like, oh, it happened. This is a huge goal of mine. I literally had it like on my vision board, or it was on the wallpaper on my desktop for a long time. It was like, it was funny. I had like an image, you know, my image for my YouTube channel. I cropped that out and photoshopped it and put a subscriber amount next to it that said like 120,000 or something like that. And I said that so I could wake up every night and make me excited to like be able to grow, be able to do it. That to me also represented just doing it full time. And that was on the wallpaper on my computer. And I remember one time my sister came into my room and she was like, oh, is that your YouTube channel? You've grown that much? And she was like freaking out. And I was like, no, that's like my wallpaper. That was like my goal. You know, that was like it's my goals. It's like my vision board in a way. It's like, it inspires me. And that was what it said. It's like 127,000 or something like that. And I remember just in my mind thinking, when I get there, then I'll feel so happy. Then I'll feel so, you know, like I'm making a difference in the world. And I realized then that it was like a level of significance that I wanted to feel, you know, that value. And then I remember hitting it. This is like back in 2017, hitting 100,000 subs. I remember I went to the gym that day, felt cool for about a couple hours, but then it just kind of was like, you know, this kind of feels like yesterday. It doesn't feel much different. It's not like 100,000 subscribers. It's like people run up to you and like, oh my goodness, you're so amazing. It's like totally different lifestyle or anything. It was more so, you know, especially things that just accentuates the ego, you know. But it was like, I realized, okay, there's 100,000, and it feels similar to it did yesterday. And then like months later, I was like, okay, well, how about 200,000 subs? So then I told myself that, well, that's pretty cool. That's a double, you know. And as I kept making videos, very passionate about, enjoy what I'm doing, it kept growing. But nonetheless, the mind always throws it a little bit further. What about a little bit further? What about a little bit further? And I was aware of this. And then, as I started to become more and more abundant, what happened is I started to become more and more abundant. Now I have the ability to like travel the world, do what I love. And once again in my mind, I remember thinking, oh, once I get to this amount per month, then I can really feel good. And then that happened, whatever that goal was. And then the goal kept going up. And I realized that no matter what happens, the goal will continue to go up. And I also realized just from becoming very abundant that money is just a number. Yes, money in a way like, you know, I'm in a nice Airbnb, I'm traveling the world. But up to a certain point, I think statistically they've shown that once you make like 70-something thousand or more, 70-something thousand a year, there isn't a huge threshold above that. Like at 70K a year, you have like the necessities to do majority like what you want and like enough to, I mean, I guess it depends if there's a family or where you live. You live in LA, 70K might not get you as much. But the idea is like, it doesn't increase the threshold of happiness, but in my own life, I've realized that it's a lot of my life up until this point of 2019 has been, how can I like achieve more, become more? And I realized that in a way, that's my ego trying to become more significant. You know, I had as many of you know, maybe you've heard my story about me growing up, and there was a certain level of unworthiness there. Not feeling accepted. I know even when I went through my spiritual awakening, I felt like, you know, my dad didn't really understand me. A lot of my friends and family thought, you know, they didn't understand me. So now it's like the more successful I become in a way, it's like my ego really wants that sense of significance, because then it feels like, well, you see, everyone was wrong about me, you know, in a way. Like they thought that what I was talking, because I think a lot of us that go through spiritual awakening, we do so in a way to where maybe our family and friends don't really get it. And part of the purpose is we spread ourselves out so that we can impact the most amount of people possible. So for me, it's almost like there's a certain level of validation that I was seeking by growing to becoming even more successful and being able to help family members and all of this stuff. It's like, look, I did this myself, and I did this without a lot of, not a lot of people believed in me, you know? And I think that maybe part of me was really moving forward in that way to fill up a cup that maybe didn't feel all the way full. And I started to become aware of that this year. And I started to become more aware that money just doesn't equal happiness. And whatever emotion that I think the money will bring, the success will bring, the stats will bring, the subscribers gained will bring, whatever perceived emotion that is, that emotion exists within my body right now. It's simply that I would be giving my mind a rule that says, well, then once you achieve X, Y, and Z, then you can feel happy. But what I'm realizing is that that's just the mind. That's just the rule in the mind, and it doesn't actually have to be reality. So what I've learned this year is to just give myself permission to enjoy the moment. I've also, say this first one's one that's had a huge impact on me, because I've also been working so much. You know, I love making videos. I love getting in my business. I'm so passionate about what I do. However, I've had not issues, but I sometimes have challenges letting go and just enjoying myself. Like just going to the beach and relaxing, or eating like a cheat meal, for example. These are things that I feel guilty doing sometimes. And playing, having fun. I used to have so much fun. I used to joke around so much. But then I got into such business mode and such growth mode and such success achiever mode that what happened is it almost like took the fun out of it. It became more serious. So this year I've learned how to really let go more, to have more fun. You know, if I go somewhere, I'll do things. I'm like, what do I want to do? What do I want to do here? Let go a lot more and eat at like places I want to eat at, versus like being like, no, I have to be very, very strict all the time. And I realized I want to enjoy life along the way. So the biggest epiphany for the first one is that I can enjoy life now, and I can be more playful. And that by being more playful, by having more fun, by joking around more, by having that cheat meal and not feel guilty, it's like then what happens is I enjoy it more, I raise my vibration, and then I achieve things easier than ever. So also the thing I want to share is just have more fun. Like, have more of a sense of humor. The things that are so serious to us become so solid and we hold it in place. If we just joke around, if we just laugh, if we just be more loose about it, well, many times we'll find that then those things work themselves out. I've learned that as well from the old sales commission job I had working at Nordstrom's in women's shoes, or Barney's New York in women's shoes. And it was like the days I went in just had fun with customers, I did the best. The days I went in serious about my goals, it was like much more rigid and much more heavy energy. So that was my first huge epiphany. The second huge epiphany was actually around understanding unconditional love. And many of you may know that Leo Alexandra and I were in an amazing relationship. We had an amazing relationship, and we both decided that we're going to go in different directions. We made that video like about a month ago, or a month and a half after this video, when this video comes out since then. And she's my best friend and the person I'm closest to in the whole world. And what we've learned is, you know, we had many, you know, this year, being in a relationship with her, it really put me to go inside of myself. It really made me go into my personal life versus just being in my business mode. And I learned so much from our relationship, just in general. We both learned how to really accept each other and how not to have expectations of each other. And there's like a level of unconditional love there that's unlike anything I've experienced before. You know, we have a very deep soul connection. And, you know, in our minds, and I think both of our minds, but in my mind especially, the very beginning of our relationship was very heady. It was very like, I never felt like that way, because I never met somebody that I had that deep of a spiritual connection with. So there was almost like a very headiness to where when we first met and started dating, I put it on a pedestal in a way. And then what happened is there's a certain blueprint in the mind for how things have to happen, you know. But over time, what I've realized is to let go of expectation, to let go of that blueprint in the mind. And we both did that, and there was a certain point that came to where we both just decided, like, we were trying to put each other into like little boxes of how we expected each other to be, and that was starting to feel very limiting. So what we then eventually did is we started to detach from the label, to detach from expectations of each other, and as we started to do that, we started to feel so free. We started to feel so much like we started to love each other at a level that we couldn't even really understand, and even without the expectation that we even have to be together, which is now what we're doing is we're deciding to go in different directions. And I'm going to start traveling, doing my events. She's going to be going to Bali, and she's going to be, she has different projects and things that she's working on within her own businesses. However, it's been so amazing to see that you can have such a deep love for someone else and without expectation at all. And that sometimes that's even better, us understanding our deep soul connection, how much we mirror each other. Maybe you saw the twin flame videos that we've made together, and the expectations as to what that means. There's a lot of people that are like, this is what it means, you have to force things to work and make it work, and all of this, and we realize that that what works better for us is just having a more equal understanding and having that unconditional love. And love really is without condition. Unconditional love means no conditions. Not the condition you have to be together, not the condition the person has to be a different way, not the condition that the person has to talk about only certain things, or there's like a level of walls that we're taking down when we got out of the label of being in our relationship and then started. And the reason I do this is because relationship, sometimes when we say boyfriend, girlfriend, it puts it into a box, and we never even really said that. We said partner. That was because it sounded too, I don't know if it was like too 3D or whatnot, but it was like a different level of connection. But from being in, she has such a powerful connection with her family, with her sense of community and the way she interacts with other people, that it very powerfully rubbed off on me. And I began to reevaluate my own relationship with my own family and even friends. And it was very inspiring to me because I was able to take that way she is and kind of like see how I could be more like that, because growing up, my parents are divorced, and there's like there's a certain way that I relate to other people, and it made me realize this cohesiveness. And the thing I learned though, you can have unconditional love for someone, and it can be deeper than ever without the condition of a label, without the condition someone has to be a certain way. And that has been profound, because you learn about a certain level of non-attachment with that. And when you start to attach to ideas, attach to people, your energy becomes very much in a box. So that was a huge epiphany for me as well. And it's funny because Leo and I are closer than ever now, even though we're deciding to, go on our own journeys and stuff. We're still going to be doing things together, seeing each other while we travel and stuff like that. But it's really cool to know as well that you can be in a very deep relationship with someone, and that can go in different directions, and you can still remain close with people. That's one of the reasons we decided to make that video too, is to show people that like it can be like that, and by being like that, it's almost like it doesn't have to be bitter, it doesn't have to be it can really be something that just enhances life even more. And the third lesson that I've had is on patience, understanding patience. I remember at the beginning of the year, I was like, I have to start doing live events in February of last year. Like, I was trying to almost grow too quick in a way. But for me, I think one of the life themes in my life is about patience. Learning patience, learning to be okay with the present moment. And it's kind of similar to the first one, but patience for me has been something that I always want to move so quick. I always want everything so fast. But think about it like this. Would you want, I've heard Abraham Hicks say this before, would you want all the food you were ever going to eat in your whole entire life? Would you like it right now? Imagine that there's a table around this whole entire house with all the most delicious food that you would ever eat in your life. It was all at the perfect temperature. It was warm if it's meant to be warm. It was cold, and then it's cold as ice cream. It's like perfect temperature. And it's all there right now. And then it's like, okay, here you go. Go enjoy. You'd get to the first table, you'd have some things, maybe the second table, you'd have some things, and then you'd have all this wasted food just sitting around the house. And it would all rot, it'd all go bad. You'd be desperately trying to put the ice cream in a tub and put it into the fridge. Look how big that fridge is. It ain't that big, okay? You can't fit everything in there. So the point is, we don't want all of our manifestations right here, right now. We want to be able to enjoy them as we go. And so this links into the first epiphany as well, is learning to really absorb into the moment. Because when you're in the moment, your vibration increases, and then you enjoy it more anyways, which is even great, even better, but also it happens even faster, even easier than ever when you really learn that patience and to be okay with the present moment, and to realize that a lot of what you do in life is not for the result you get. A lot of what you do is an end of itself. You know, and I talk, a lot of the teachings I've been teaching lately, or I've been talking about lately, is doing things for the sake of doing them. If I make this video because in this moment, I just want to make this video, it's an end of itself, there's a certain magic to it, there's a certain level of authenticity to it. But if I make this video because it will get me something, or it's got some end result, then it's very different energy. So when we can learn how to, also in a way, doing things because it's who we are is very powerful. The level of identity. It's like going to the gym. Go to the gym not because it's just the result you're going to get. You go to the gym because it's who you are. Someone to express yourself and to have that kind. I'm looking over there because the gym's right over there. And to be in that state of doing it because it's who you are, and because you're in the vibration of it, is very powerful. So one thing I've learned this year is to be more patient, and to understand that you don't always want to grow too quickly in a way. Like what if instead, like if you're, you know, so many people reach out to the channel, like, I want to attract a certain type of relationship. And then every person that they meet, they're thinking, is this the one? Is this the person that's going to stick with me my whole entire life? And they put this, everything's on a huge pedestal, and then they create resistance around it, and then they're not really in the moment because they're vetting the other person continuously. But if you were to just be patient, to absorb into the moment, you might find that then there's more flow. When you're patient, there's more flow. When you're patient, you also learn how to just be. And that's been pivotal for me this year, because I really believe a life theme for me is patience. At least it has been. And I think the more that I focus on being patient, the more things will happen even easier. It'll have many positive side effects. You know, last night or yesterday, Lior and I went, so when we were at Rhythmia, there was the fourth night there was this amazing shaman. His name's Mitra. And I felt like a connection to him. And like when he does his healings and stuff like that, it's very wise. He's got a very powerful energy, very calm energy, but very, you know, very good energy. And after the ceremony on Thursday, you know, in Costa Rica, at Rhythmia, it went to like 8, 9 in the morning. I was talking to him afterwards, and he invited Lior and I to his house in Costa Rica. We were actually staying 10 minutes away from where he lives, which is an hour and a half away from Rhythmia. And we went to his house, and he had this magical house, very good energy. Him and his partner were there. And we connected to him, and he has such a grounding, powerful energy. And I asked him about that, and he said that came primarily through meditating for years. Not just, I don't think it's just years straight, but like meditating and cultivating that, and being more at the being level. And that really inspired me, because moving forward into 2020, what I think I'm gonna really focus on is meditating more. And I've always kind of known that. I've had a spiritual advisor back in Vegas, and she said, oh, if you were to meditate a little bit more, I meditate 20 minutes in the morning, 20 minutes at night, but if you were to meditate a little bit more, you would actually have more of a clear like channel for the videos you make. You'd have many different insights, and I know that, but for some reason I just wouldn't, like, oh, there's too much stuff to do, you know? So this year I'm going to really focus on meditating more, maybe meditating like in the middle of the day, and focus on also just cultivating that level of presence, because I believe in my videos you can feel, almost as I go through different transformations, I feel like you can maybe feel those transformations as well. You can feel the kind of insights that I have, maybe you can just feel the energy underneath what I do. And I think that will help me, and then also it'll trickle out into maybe the content that I make and all that. So Patience, meditation is something I'm going to take into 2020, and I'm going to continue to not be attached to how things happen, to the blueprint of my mind. I'm learning to just more so go with the flow, but also the biggest takeaway I can give is that many of you watching this may really desire to make a lot of money, to be successful. I think that's great. However, just know that enjoy the process of it. Enjoy the journey, because I promise you, it's not what you think it is once you get it. It's about enjoying the moment until you get it, and then knowing that happiness is something that you cultivate within, and you can give yourself permission to be happy right now. And by doing that, you'll become more successful than ever. So focus on giving yourself those emotions, focus on that, and watch how your life begins to change. And yeah, I think that's the most powerful insights I've had for this year. And I think that moving forward, this is going to be something that I do every year. It's this kind of, 2019. Also, for the year, what I would recommend you do is, the feeling is the secret, where I talk about how you're falling asleep at night, you wire in the emotion of what you want to create in your life. I encourage you to do a 21-day challenge for starting January 1st until January 21st. Listen to that meditation every single night before you go to bed. I'm going to go ahead and link it below. Listen to it and feel the emotions of you creating what you want in your life, of you being that ideal self-image. And the idea is, as you're falling asleep at night, you have more power over your subconscious mind, because you're drifting into theta. If you haven't heard me talk about it before, I explain more in the video below. But listen to this meditation. It's the most powerful meditation for manifesting while you sleep. Listen to it for 21 days and watch how your life begins to change. I give you that challenge for the beginning of January 1st, and watch what happens. If you watch this after January 1st, it's just a 21-day challenge that I think will change your life, because after 21 days, you begin to change your identity, you begin to change your vibration in general. So try that as well. That's something I'm going to be doing too, so do it with me. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you want me to share more of my personal insights like this. I know I kind of revealed more about my personal life here. Let me know what you think of it. And as always, I'll see you on the next vid. Peace, much love, and namaste.